Hi there, welcome to yoga and thanks for showing up and practicing with me here. So for this class we are going to work on Eka Pada Koundinyasana II, which is an arm balance, and I think that it was the first one that I ever got. So it has a special place in my heart and I want to share it with you. So for today's class we will need one block for sure. You can also bring two if you want. I will get into that later. And then also maybe a strap, depending on your flexibility, can help to have one. I don't have one, but yeah. And so with that, let's go ahead and get started on our backs. Soles of your feet together, knees wide. Let your palms face up towards the sky, ready to receive energy. And then just go ahead and try to drop in here. Really see if you can let all that tension from your body just kind of trickle out and invite the softness in. No, we're not fighting anything here. We're not standing up to anybody. We're not protecting anything. Here we just get to be, to flow, to use your body. A theme that's been coming up for me a lot this week is the theme of falling in love with where you are. You know, sometimes certain situations can be difficult or frustrating, and we wish that we had achieved something, and we wish we could get there quicker. But the secret to life is really enjoying the journey and the difficult parts, appreciating that you're learning a lesson, and the amazing parts, celebrating them and being present for that too, because nothing lasts forever, not the good, not the bad, and appreciating your growth and all of the things that you have to come to look forward to that haven't happened yet. And I think just really appreciating each and every moment, for it can bring you joy and it can bring you sadness, it can bring you pain and it can bring you happiness and excitement and tears, and to appreciate the full range of emotions that you get to go through by staying present and really embracing each one of those, because this is what our life is made of, the ups and the downs, the good and the bad. And right now, focusing on your breath, in and out through your nose, and letting this moment be whatever it is for you. This is maybe a way to begin a really wonderful and exciting day, or maybe this is an escape from a really stressful day. And notice whatever that is that you're feeling right here, right now, in this moment. And give life to it. Don't hide from that. Let it be bold. Really feel it and see who you are in this moment and how you can become a better person afterward, what you've learned, your wisdom. Be ready to face the next moments with even more strength and courage. Long, slow breaths, in and out through your nose, using the pace of your breath to set the tone for your body, to bring calmness, to slow down any jittery energy, become centered. And then go ahead and bring your knees in towards your chest, and go ahead and grab onto the back of your shins and just roll around a little bit, loosening up again. And go ahead and hold onto your right knee, extending your left leg out long, and go ahead and pull that knee up towards your right shoulder, really working that hip flexor there. Move it around, give it some love, oiling up those joints. And then grab a hold of your right foot or your big toes, using a strap if you want to, extending your right leg for that hamstring stretch. Put your left hand on your left leg to get a good idea of how your pelvis is tilting and keep it in line. And we're just getting started here, so no need to pull into your deepest stretch, just kind of like giving a little bit of a wake up here. You can bend your knee and straighten it a few times if you want to get some more blood flowing through that hamstring. Sometimes you can find a little bit more length by activating it there. And then we'll go ahead and come into our B position. So out to the side. You can bend your knee if you want to also, if we're still a little bit stiff here. And you want to try to keep your left leg grounded. So by pushing through the heel of your left leg, that'll give a little bit more weight to that leg. But, as long as you're making sure to open up the joint and you don't take your whole body with you, it's okay. Your body will fall where it lands, land where it falls. It's removing the joint. That's what counts. And then bringing that foot back up towards center, and we'll go for the IT band stretch. So switch hands on your foot. Oh, I've got some furniture in the way, but go ahead and extend that right leg to straighten it if you can. So you get a nice stretch all through that IT band. Loosen it up, a nice twist. You can gaze over towards your right hand. Sending your breath into those tight, sticky spots. Giving them with a confidence that they don't have to stay sticky. They can open up for you. And bring that right knee back in towards your chest. Left knee in towards your chest. And go ahead and extend your right leg out long. Left knee up towards your left armpit again. So you get a nice deep stretch there. Really moving those muscles around. Move your knee in circles, side to side. Tuck that in. Pushing through your right leg if you want to. You can extend the distance between your two psoas. And then go ahead and grab onto your left foot, toes or strap, and go ahead and extend the leg. Get a nice soft, easy stretch here. We're just waking up our tissues. And you can bend the knee if you want a little bit. Contract and lengthen that hamstring. Good. And then go ahead and hold it straight for a few breaths. And then out towards your B position, external rotation. And again, bending the knee if you want to, if that's easier for you to make that work. Pushing through your right heel to ground yourself. And then bring that leg back up towards center. Go ahead and switch hands on your left foot and stretch it out for your IT band. Stretch and twist. Staying focused on your breath, even as we're starting to put some action into your muscles, and sometimes you want to be focusing on what sensation you're feeling there. Remember, this is sensation, and focus on your breath to keep the body centered and calm with whatever chaos we're bringing to it. All right, and then bring your left knee back towards your chest, right knee in towards your chest, and roll around a little bit more. And now we're going to warm up with a little bit of core work. So go ahead and take both of your feet up towards the sky. And you go ahead and point and flex your feet a little bit, warm up those ankles, twirl them, dorsiflex, whatever. Good. And go ahead and put your hands behind your head, and we'll go ahead and lower your right leg down towards the ground, keeping the small of your back pushed into the ground as if you've got a couple of peanuts in there and you want to turn them into peanut butter. So keep the low down on the ground, and bring your right leg back up to the sky, lowering your left leg down. Again, keeping that low back. Imagine that fresh peanut butter you've got. Switch legs. Switch. And you want to be lifting up towards the sky with your chest. Switch legs. Not your head, because that's just moving from your neck. So you want to lift. Switch legs. Lift with your chest. And then switch. 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 switch, switch. All right, we'll do 10 more. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees in towards your chest. All right, now that we got a little bit more blood pumping, we're gonna do those hip opening again. So right knee in towards your chest, hug that shin with your hands. Knee up towards your shoulder. Any more length that you can get in there, just kind of roll it around, give it some love. And then grab onto your right foot, coming up straight for a hamstring stretch. Again, see if you can take an inhale, and then with your exhale, kind of see if you can breathe a little bit more length into your stretch here. I know that helps me a lot. And then take that out to your externally rotated B position. And again, same thing. Now that you're gotten a little bit more blood flowing, see if you can use that breath to really let those muscles lengthen. Every exhale, just whoosh, you can just imagine, just picture your muscles getting longer. And bring your leg up towards center, switch hands. Extending into the IT band. Two more breaths. Getting longer with each exhale. And then bring that knee back towards center, left knee in towards your chest, right leg long. Give that knee a good hug. Really see if you can point that up towards your left shoulder. Side to side. And then grab onto your big toes and stretch out your hamstring there. And again, take a big inhale in through your nose. And then exhale out through your mouth, just picturing that getting longer. See if you can just find a little bit more length. Deep breaths. And then rotate out into your externally rotated. Keeping that right leg grounded as much as possible. So the stretch really comes from your pelvis. And then switch hands on your foot, taking that left foot long and into a nice twist. Again, send each exhale right to that IT band, giving it space and oxygen to grow and flourish and give you all the space you need. Inhale, exhale. And then bring your knees back in towards your chest, and we're gonna do some rock and rolls, and really we're gonna try to get as big of rock and rolls as you can. So you'll start slow, and then seeing if you can go all the way from your sacrum all the way up to your cervical spine near your neck. Seeing if you can think like each vertebrae as being a separate entity, and each one has to hold the weight of your whole body at some point during the rock. And then once you've got these nice big rock and rolls, plant your feet and see if you can catch your weight a little bit. As if you're floating for just a moment there. And if one day maybe you can even land in that squat. I can only go all the way up, but so try that a few times. And you can go all the way up. So then we'll be at the front of our mat, and whenever you finish playing around with that, and go ahead and take your hands towards your heart, and go ahead and set an intention for your practice. After we've gotten all grounded and connected to our breath, to our bodies, go ahead and take a minute and think about where you want to go with yourself, your spirit, your heart, where you want to be at the end of this practice. So go ahead, bowing down towards your hand in gratitude for this space and your energy, the time to be able to do this, and send all those good, positive thoughts in towards yourself. And then on an inhale, circle sweep your hands up towards the sky. Exhale, bow and forward fold down towards your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step back into your plank pose. Lower into your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then go ahead and look towards your hands and step or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, forward halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle sweep your hands up towards the sky, grabbing energy. Exhale, bringing that energy down, folding it into yourself. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Make your way through your vinyasa. Coming into your downward dog. Take one breath here, and then looking towards the front of your mat. Walk or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle sweep up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold, down towards the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Make your way back to chaturanga into downward facing dog. And now we'll take a sun salutation B. So go ahead and step or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, for halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then on your inhale, drop your bum and sweep your hands up towards the sky for your chair pose, Utkatasana. And try to use all four corners of your feet. So you're really pressing down through your baby toe, your big toe, your heels. So you have a really solid foundation to be able to keep yourself balanced. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Jump or step back through vinyasa. Coming into your downward dog. Take your right foot up towards the sky. And go ahead and step it in between your hands. Grounding your left foot back at an angle and rise up into your warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. And really try, and here we'll focus on the front leg. You want to make sure that your knees tracking over your foot and you're keeping your hips square forward. Arms up towards the sky. Take another inhale here and then an exhale. And plant your hands around your front foot. Step back into your plank pose. Lower to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take your left foot up towards the sky and step it in between your hands. Grounding your back foot, rising up into Virabhadrasana 1. Keeping the front knee tracking right over the left foot so that everything is lined up there. Body facing forward, or your torso facing forward. Inhale and exhale. And plant your hands around your front foot. Step back into your plank pose. Lower to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And then go ahead and look towards the front of your mat. Step or walk to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then on your inhale, sweep your hands up, rising into your chair pose, fierce pose. And try and keep your core integrated here. So sometimes due to mobility, we want to do the ski slope, but really try to keep that integrated. Even if it means you can't go quite as deep as you might want to, it's better in the long run. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right foot up towards the sky. Step it in between your hands. Rising up into warrior 1. Take a big deep breath. And on your exhale, plant your hands around your front foot. Back to plank. And take it through vinyasa. And right foot up towards or left foot, sorry. Terrible, left and right. Step it in between your hands. Rising up into your warrior 1 pose. A big inhale and a big exhale. And plant your hands around your front foot. Step back into plank. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. All right, one more sun salutation B. Gazing towards your hands, step or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up towards your chair pose. Think about your feet, all four corners. Think about your core integrated. Take an inhale and an exhale. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back to plank. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right foot up towards the sky. Step it in between your hands. Rise, Virabhadrasana 1. Big breath in, big breath out, and down into your vinyasa. Left foot to the sky, stepping it forward in between your hands, rising up. Proud pose, inhale, and an exhale, and take it through your vinyasa. All right, and then go ahead and ripple forward. Again, each piece of your spine, think of it as its own entity. It gets to be the star of the show in each spot. So you can also drop your knees here if you want. What we're gonna work on is moving your hands around in your plank so that you have different, they carry the weight in different amounts. So you get used to arm balancing. So go ahead and walk your left hand over towards your right hand, and then see if you can lift your right hand up. So you're bringing all your weight on your left, and then take your right hand back, and then lift your left hand up. And then even while you're here, see if you can just shift the weight between the two. Actually kind of tricky. If this is easy for you, you can go on your fingertips and see if you can manage this kind of strength in different capacities. So then walk your hands back over to the other side. And I'm gonna drop my knees while I'm talking, so it's a little bit easier. And if you have your hands near each other, again, take turns. Raise the left hand up off the mat, and then plant it, and raise the right hand up off the mat and plant it. Fingertips again, if this is easy for you. Working these in different scenarios so that your body gets used to shifting your core around. And then, try whatever you want. If you want to walk your hands back a little bit, if you want to walk them forward, out wide, one hand, moving it around. And then after you're done with that, go ahead and lower yourself all the way down to the mat. And we'll come into our Oscillating Cobra. So now that we warmed up the upper body, let's take your fingers out to 10 and 2. And sometimes I actually like to plant my hands. And then go ahead and ripple your chest upward, and then ripple it back down. Again, trying to think about each piece of the vertebrae getting to be the star of the show at separate times, being the kind of the keystone of that arch in your back. So the break up any sticky spots in your spine where maybe your vertebrae were kind of locked together and they got lazy and were moving as a pair. And exhale, come back down, fingertips. And you can wave side to side. All right, and then go ahead and plant your hands by your chest, tuck your toes. Go ahead and engage your legs so that your quads come off the ground, and push up into plank pose. And then shift back to downward facing dog, and go ahead and walk your hands back to the back of the mat so that you're in forward fold. Go ahead and clasp your hands around the bottom base of your head so that using that traction, the weight of your arms, you can get a little bit of space in between your spine and your vertebrae. And then you can wave yourself side to side, loosening up a little. And then go ahead and release your hands and heel toe your feet out so they're a little bit wider than hip width. And go ahead and sit yourself down into Malasana Pose. And then go ahead and work yourself into a good position here. Bring your hands in towards your chest. And then take a couple of deep breaths here in Malasana, letting your body adjust to this deep hip flexion that we so rarely get in our regular everyday movements. And as your body starts to adjust into your Malasana Pose, we're gonna do a little flow. So from Malasana into, I guess kind of a handstand push-up situation. So I'll demo easy or the basic one. So you'll be in your Malasana with your hands together, and then you'll just kind of plant them on the ground and shift your weight forward. You can tap your head if you can reach, and then sit back. And so the key thing you want to think about is not letting your elbows flay. So if that means you get stuck here, then that's where you get stuck. And you can move your hands closer and farther away, and it really changes the difficulty of the movement, and that might be different for everyone. I can't speak for anyone else's body, so go ahead and you can play with different locations of your hands to see what's feeling good in your body. But we really want to focus on the integration of our arms and our core so that they move together. And like I said, if your elbows flop out, that's gonna reduce that integrity. So just wherever you're at, keep your elbows in. Again, falling in love with where you are, whatever your body can do or can't do. It's all part of the learning process and the growing process. And you know, we're growing new cells every day, so nothing is permanent, and anything is possible. So go ahead and take a couple more of those if you want, or go ahead and rest back in your Malasana. And what we're going to do from here is we're going to transition from Malasana straight into half moon. So we'll go to the right side first, and we'll start low, and you're just going to take a deep breath in, and then on your exhale, you're going to just expand right up. So you really just want to think about, again, everything being integrated when you rise up. And then once you get into your half moon, I really want to focus on the little muscles in the hip. So there's so much going on in half moon. If you want to grab a block to make your balance easier. But here what we're going to think about is, ideally in a good half moon, you would have your whole body lined up so that you could fit between like two walls. But not everybody is there, probably not even me either. But when you're thinking about it, half moon, you might be thinking about balance, you might be thinking about your arms, you might be thinking about your outer foot. But right here, just think about whatever little shifts you need to make to see if you can stack that left hip a little bit more on top of the right hip. And so just focus on those, whatever little tiny muscles can engage there. And who cares what your other arm's doing? Yeah, my arm's not making any sense, but top arm. So just focus on those little guys. And while you've been doing that, and then on your next exhale, go ahead and let your right foot come in front of, or left foot in front of the right, so you have your feet crossed. And then we're gonna come into a forward fold. So first, take your hands onto your shins so you have a nice flat back, good angle in your hips, and then exhale, forward fold. The left knee might be a little bit bent, the right leg will be more straight. Again, trying to get some stretch through that right IT band. And then come back to your breath. After doing some hard movements, it can be easy to lose track of your breathing, but remember that that's your core, and your breath is the key to keeping your whole body calm and centered. You have this tool with you at any time to control your breathing. You can control the pace of your mind and your body. 2 more breaths. And then from here, you might need to walk a little bit forward on your mat. I'm going to, but we're going to come into a cross-legged crow. So separate your knees a little bit so the cross is now more at your ankles. And I like to go ahead and get your knees into your elbow or up on your triceps first, and then kind of lean forward. And then see if you can come into crow with your ankles still crossed. And then see if you can uncross and plop yourself back into Malasana. And then again, regain centeredness after floating there. And now we're gonna pop up into half moon on the left side. So as you prepare to do this, you're gonna take your left hand out a little bit, wherever you think it might be going, and take a big inhale. And on the exhale, you will just envision complete expansion. So left hand down, inhale, exhale, and expand. And then, find your half moon, get your pose. And then once you're comfortable, again, go back to that, thinking about your pelvis and just seeing whatever you can do to try to get that right hip stacked more on top of the left hip. And I'll find a lot of, just by focusing on that little movement, that little rotation, I find a lot of little muscles for me are lighting up and doing a little more work once I give them that attention and ask them to do that. And then once you've gotten into your deeper space there, see if you can hold that for a couple of breaths. Maybe see if you can make that your new normal, lock it into your brain memory. And then on your exhale, go ahead and sweep your right foot down and in front of your left. So you have crossed legs. Take your hands to your right shin, flat back, and then on an exhale, forward fold for that deep IT band stretch. All right, and now we'll do the, go ahead and separate your knees, bringing that cross down towards your ankles. And so you can get your knees up onto your triceps, as close to the armpit as you can. Your flexibility will manage. Plant your hands and then just kind of tilt. If you can tilt forward and come up into your cross-legged crow. And even if you can't make it, just by starting to shift your weight into your hands, you are on your way and you're practicing the arm balance needs. And then uncross your feet and plop yourself back down into Malasana. And go ahead and plant your hands, lift up into a short down dog, and then walk yourself out into a normal length down dog. And again, this is a good breath recovery station. So wherever flight mode we were just in, come back into your rest and relaxation mode. Just a moment. And then take that right leg up towards the sky and step it in between your hands, grounding your back foot down, rise up into warrior one. And see if you can notice any more space in your hips than when we were doing these in our Sun Bs earlier. Let me see if anything, those Malasanas have helped or anything. And then exhale into your warrior two pose. You can get a nice external rotation in your hips so that while your right knee is tracking forward, your torso is going to be facing towards the wall. So you have nice external rotation. And then we'll come into a side angle. So right hand down towards your foot, left arm up overhead. Again, focusing on your breath. As the postures get more intense, use your breath to see if you can make them a little bit less intense. And then we'll go ahead and take your right arm up. So you have both arms up, and then we'll rotate back into a reverse triangle, and then back into a two-handed Side angle. And reverse triangle. We'll just flow through that on your breath for a couple more rounds. And then next time you come to the two-hand position, stay there. And pivoting onto the ball of your back foot, come face the front of your mat and plant your hands down to the inside of your right foot. And we'll come into our lizard pose. So you can drop your knee here if you like, if you want to keep it up, either one, but we'll try to bring your forearms to the floor. If you can, I'm actually a little tighter than I thought today, but you can also use a block as a little kickstand here. Yeah, I'm gonna drop my knee so I can rest, so I can speak to you better. But either one, so you should feel a nice deep stretch here in this lizard pose, and that's the stretch we're gonna need to get into our peak pose. So if you want to move around a little bit, you know, bring some juice to that joint, keep it from being too static. But we're just gonna dive in here. Whew. If you want to come out and release it with a hamstring stretch before we get back into it, feel free. All right, and then walk yourself up and out of that. Put the butt back if you need it. And plant your hands, step your foot back, and take a vinyasa. All right, other side, left leg up towards the sky, stepping it between your hands. Warrior one. Take a deep breath, and then on your exhale, warrior two. And then we'll come into side angle. So drop your left hand down towards your foot if you can. You can stay up on your knee, and right arm up and over. And again, as your body starts to pick up pace, working hard for these poses, use your breath to keep it calm and to slow down all the movement and chaos of the hard work. And then bring your left arm up as if you're holding a big beach ball over your head, and we'll vinyasa that a little bit. And by vinyasa, I just mean flow between your external or your exalted triangle and the side angle. So just bringing flow into that hip joint. And next time you have both hands over your head, stay there. Roll onto the ball of your right foot and plant your hands to the inside of the left foot. Knee raised or knee down, whatever feels good to you. And, you know, move out the joint around. Find whatever nook and cranny has got all the cobwebs in it and just wiggle them out. And whenever you're ready, if you're able to, come to your forearms. If you want to use the block, again, use the block. And if you can, one thing that's important, I mean, I'm the block for this, is, you know, not to round too much into it. Try to keep your chest out and proud. Sorry, I did this workout yesterday with 250 air squats, and my hips are a little tighter than I than I would have liked them to be for this class, but hey, here we are. So however much pain you're feeling, trust me, I'm right there with you. Okay, we'll stay here a little bit longer. All right, and then plant your hands and step your left foot back so you're in your plank pose. Take a vinyasa. All right, and then a little bit more core work to help us get prepped for our peak pose that's coming up soon. So right leg up towards the sky, and take your knee first in towards your chest and then forward towards your nose. See if you can plant a smooch on your knee and back up towards the sky. Right tricep, back up towards the sky. Left tricep, sky, knee to nose, kiss your knee. And then plant your right foot, and we'll do the left one. So take your foot towards the sky, knee towards the nose, sky, left tricep, sky, right tricep, up towards the sky, and one more time into the knee, and back in downward facing dog. All right, so one more sequence, quick refresher. Okay, so take your right leg up towards the sky, place it in front of your feet, keeping your legs hip width apart, and we'll rise up into our Crescent Lunge. Take a breath here, and then on an exhale, sweep your arms into your archer pose. So you'll have your right hand back, left hand forward, nice deep twist. And then you can go ahead and bring your hands together and come into a twisted lunge. And then drop your back knee. So you're in a supported Chandrasana style lunge. And then we will come up into Chandrasana. Nice deep lunge, finding lots of space. And then drop your hands. And we're gonna try our lizard pose with a block under your foot. So place that where your right foot would be, and then go ahead and walk your right foot up onto that block. And plant your hands right underneath your chest, inside of that block. Curl your back toes and strengthen that leg. And just depends on where you're at. Stay here. Find some circles and some mobility. If you're feeling pretty loose, go ahead and you can use your other block and put your forearms on that, or if you can come all the way down, almost there, keeping your chest, proud chest facing forward. Don't come into your turtle shell, stay out. Yeah, and really get into that hip, find some space. Yeah, let that hip out. I'll take 5 more breaths here. All right, and then probably drop your back knee and move your foot off of your block. Put your block to the side for just a moment. Plant your hands and step your right foot back and flow through a vinyasa. All right, other side. So left leg up towards the sky and stepping it forward between your hands, feet hip width apart so that you can rise up into your Crescent Lunge. And then take a couple breaths here, enjoy this pose. And on an exhale, sweep your arms out into your archer pose on the left leg. Nice deep twist. And then hands together, palm to palm, right knee our right elbow to left knee, coming into a twisted lunge. And then go ahead and drop that back knee. Recenter yourself. And then sweep your arms up towards the sky. Deep Chandrasana lunge. Feel the length all across from your right knee all the way up. And go ahead and drop your hands to the mat. Grab your block. Place it right where your left foot was and put your left foot back on top of it. Hands to the ground inside. And go ahead and straighten that back leg if you can, or if you want to leave it down. Really listen to your body. We're getting in here deep, so listen to and notice the difference between what is just uncomfortable and what is pain, and that's the distinction between those two is really where you want to make sure that you stop. If it's just a strong sensation of discomfort, oftentimes you can hang out there and use that mental strength and your calm, cool breath to get through it. But if you really start feeling some pain, stay away, back off. Drop into your forearms if you really want to get deep in there. All right, 3 more breaths. And walk yourself back up. Step off of your block. Put it to the side. And go ahead and one last vinyasa here. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. And it's now time for our peak pose. So stay in your downward facing dog. And go ahead and we'll take our right leg up towards the sky. And go ahead and step it to the outside of your right hand, and then go ahead and drop your left knee. And if you can, wiggle your right shoulder underneath your right leg so that you can plant your hands outside of your foot. And if this is not going well, if you're like just not happening, you can walk along. We'll do the same thing, but take your foot out, bend it a little bit so that you don't have to worry about that as much hip mobility. That'll give you some more space. But if you are still here with me and you're able to get that shoulder underneath the right calf, straighten your back leg and put your hands underneath your chest, kind of like in a push-up position, so they're nice and stable. You feel like they could support you. And start toeing that front foot out while you lean your chest forward, and just keep going until you've shifted your weight and you're fine. And that's it, that's your pose. And when you're new at it, it probably won't, you might not hold it right at first. You will kind of wobble, maybe take flight, and that's a little scary, and then back off. But just keep trying that, and your body will just kind of, like we were practicing earlier, it's, a little bit this way, a little bit that way, and eventually it'll just kind of say, oh, this is how I lock in, that's the spot. So, other side, come back to your downward facing dog, and take the left leg up to the sky, and plant it outside of your left hand. Drop your back knee, and go ahead and see if you can wiggle that shoulder behind your calf, like you're putting on a backpack strap, and then get your hands planted into a nice solid push-up stance where they can bear a lot of weight. Lengthen your back foot, and then start walking that front foot forward and leaning your chest forward until you lift it off. I'm running into furniture over there, so here we go. Yeah, just walk it forward, lean, like you're a little teeter-totter. And that's that. And Then once you really got the hang of it, I'll show you this side. Once you start getting more better, the hang of these, then come back, you'll hop back into your vinyasa. And that's that. So let me grab a little sip of water real quick. Now that we've done this hip opening, we're really well primed to do like a straddle vinyasa or a straddle headstand, because that requires some open hips to be able to get up into it. But since we spent so much time opening our hips, today is a great day to practice the straddle headstand. So go ahead and come into a wide-legged straddle stance, wherever feels good for you. And maybe this is farther than you normally go since we did a hip opening. And come into your forward fold. And if your head meets the ground, then we will invert. If your head doesn't meet the ground, we'll have another little game we can practice in a second. So if your head doesn't meet the ground, keep stretching. If your head does meet the ground, you can come up with me. So plant your head and then plant your hands so that, should actually probably go this way so you can see. So once your head hits the ground, plant your hands so they're shoulder width apart, tuck your elbows in, and then come up onto the balls of your feet and see if you can just lift up. And again, you can try this at the wall if you're new to it. But once you get enough hip mobility that you can stack your hips all the way above your head, it'll just feel like floating up. Just so light and so easy. So if your mobility is not quite there yet, and it's for me in this sake for a handstand and forearm stand especially, you can come to the wall and you can use the blocks to give yourself a little bit of extra height. So you have to kind of play around and see where the right spot is for you, but that'll just boost you up a little bit. And then, yeah, that's all. Okay, maybe you need to start head on the ground first and then step onto your blocks. And that'll also help you get your butt all the way above your head so that it's really just kind of like just doing a crunch, just doing leg raises. So go ahead and play with those variations for a moment while I catch my breath from talking and doing them. I suggest you do them and no talking so you can just focus on your inversions. And whenever you're done, pause the video if you want to keep playing, but otherwise we'll go ahead and come into our wheel pose, our back bends. So go ahead and come onto your back, and we'll do a bridge warm up, I guess, a primer is probably a good word. So plant your feet about hip width apart, heels towards your bum, and go ahead and press up. Coming into your bridge pose, and again thinking about each piece of your spine moving separately on its own, integrated and connected, but not clumped together. I want each one moving separately. All right, so go ahead and if you want to stick with bridge pose, if you're tapped, you can also place a block under your bum. But if you're still with me, go ahead and plant your hands by your shoulders and by your ears. And go ahead and press up onto the top of your head and then push all the way up into your wheel. And since we've been playing around with a little bit of balance, go ahead and see if you can shift into your left foot and bring the knee up into your chest, maybe towards the sky. If you made it, take a rest. Those are hard, but fun. And gather your breath, and we'll come up come back up into wheel, and you can take the other foot if you like. So go ahead and push up into your wheel pose, and bring that your right foot a little more center, you could achieve those just by a lot of just getting comfortable shifting your weight around into different angles and getting used to bearing that weight. So come back down, those 3 back bends. Great job. And go ahead and extend your left leg out long, right knee towards your chest, and roll that right knee over to the left, right arm out. I'll just wring out all that work that we've done. Wash it away, let it go. You've done great. And right knee back into center, left knee to center, right leg long, left knee, twist. Remembering to bring ease into your body, inviting it in. With the mind-body connection, your body tenseness and rigidness is often a direct reflection of your mind and your attitudes. So by inviting that in, you can really cultivate ease into your body and your mind. And back towards center. And if you feel comfortable, we'll take a quick plow pose. So knees and legs up over your head. And it's okay if they don't touch the ground. If you want to use a pillow or a prop for them to land on, you can do that. If you can touch the ground, try to straighten your legs and get a nice stretch all through your back. Oh, it feels so good. It's also supposed to be a thyroid stimulator because of your thyroid being in your neck and all that pressure on your neck right there. And then go ahead and bend your knees and roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. Bring your knees in towards your chest, hug yourself in tight, make a nice tiny little package. If there's any tension left within your body, squeeze it out right now. Take a big inhale and exhale, let it all go. Shavasana. And just find a place of stillness here on your mat. Let your breath go, let your body go, let your mind go. Just be. And on your next inhale, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing a little life back into your body. And go ahead and make your way up into a seat. Any comfortable seat to close out your practice. And bring your hands towards your chest, bowing your gaze down in gratitude. So thankful for this day, thankful for the time to practice yoga, thankful for the access to being able to make a video, being able to watch a video. Grateful for all the little things that happen during our day and all the little things that we're looking forward to tomorrow. Thank you for practicing with me, yogis. Namaste.